Hey everybody, so just finished watching the Nose Job episode 9 of season 3, and I would say this is pretty much, I would say it's even with the tape episode, the previous episode, and possibly actually getting a little bit of an edge on it, mostly because I believe that the Nose Job episode just was it had a lot more funny moments than the tape did. You know, both the episodes had very funny or very silly circumstances going behind that drove. Both episodes had very kind of silly. They had wacky plot lines that kind of drove the episode. That's what I want to say. And it wasn't so much with the last episode. It was more, I wasn't really sure whose story or whose episode it was, or even if it was anybody's episode. This one, it was definitely it was kind of the same thing, though it had more of a focus on Jerry and George. I think, I'm not too sure, but what happened is that Jerry's dating this actress, and so he goes through the lines with her, and she's a shitty actress, and so what's going on is that, in his words, his battle between his brain and his penis, because the sex is really good. On the other side of the episode, or the plot, you have George, whose girlfriend at Kramer's insistence gets a nose job, and then George kind of backs up on it. But the nose job is horribly botched, and apparently there's a, what do you call it? A divot? Not a divot, but I guess a divot. I can't remember what the actual word they use. It begins with a D. But, yeah, and they break up, but at the end, what happens is, because Kramer's doctor fixes the nose job, and Kramer and George's ex-girlfriend now are together. They go to the Reggae club, which is I found to be, the ending of this episode is actually very good, I thought. Just kind of that bit of poetic justice of a sort for George for being superficial. Actually, now that I think about it, this episode was kind of like a good battle between being genuine and superficial. You know, what lies beneath the skin. Almost, you have, and both characters kind of, it has a little moral almost, because both characters, or Jerry and George, they kind of go through this very similar kind of looks versus, I guess, other more personal traits. And so whereas with Jerry, he's kind of hooked to the physical, the superficial, but once he gets over that and kind of gets past superficial, he in the end prospers more, whereas George, who gets hooked on the superficial, well, he gets his just desserts, which is hilarious because you just see George's reaction, and he's just shut up, Elaine, when she starts talking. But yeah, I'll say it, this is definitely a better episode than the tape, I think. But another great point, a really funny moment, is when Jerry's doing this monologue with his girlfriend, and you see the internal battle, which is him dressed up in a white suit with a little brain cabin, versus him dressed up in a white suit with a little squared head, so he looks like a penis, sort of. So it symbolizes the brain versus the penis. And they battle in chess. And so, ultimately, and it's just it's a fun little go around, you know. Also, Kramer and Elaine have a thing where they go get a jacket that is owned by somebody. I can't remember the details to that one too much, but they fake their identities and they get caught, but it's all right in the end. Yeah, that was the only. I don't even want to call that a weak point. That was a weak point. There's nothing funny about them going through there. But yeah, good episode. Very solid episode, I thought. So, looking forward to it. Or, looking forward to the next episode. Yeah, I already watched this episode. Can't look forward to something you've already seen. Unless you're watching it again. Anyway, have a good night.